Welcome to the Transition with Grace workshop, where we're going to help you identify dysfunctional movement traps. I call them DMTs, okay? Dysfunctional movement traps that end up causing pain, dysfunction, and ultimately leading to you living a smaller life. And we're going to do that by taking you back in time to when you were just a baby. Because if we can approximate what we did when we were a baby, you better believe we're going to be confident and upright and strong with our posture. Okay, so that's what the goal is today. So I just want to make sure, I'm going to look in here in the chat and see if someone has said that sounds good. No sound, no sound. I hear you fine, we hear you. Okay, good. I thought that was the case. Thank you, Iva. Thank you, Kathy. Pamela, thank you. Sheila, I can't see you. Now you should be able to see me, everybody.
Try leaving and coming back.
Yeah, if there's something glitching or something, just try leaving and coming back in, okay?
So sign out of other uses of internet.
Yeah, thank you, Becca. Sign out of all other things that are taking bandwidth off of the, away from your internet service, okay? All right, so, yep, same here, no sound. Okay, now there's sound. How about now? Better, better, better. Yay, yay, yay. Thanks, Liz. A little choppy. That's live webinar. I got the best, I have the best webinar connection I can possibly have right now. So we can hear you. I hear you fine. Got it now. All right, make sure you're signed out. Okay, good. All right. So now that all that stuff is out of the way, we're going to get into some very powerful little maneuvers today that is going to teach you about transitions through movements, like I said, when you were a baby. Okay, we're going to go to to about 4.5 months. We're going to spend some time at your 4.5 month period. We're going to spend some time at the 7, 8, 9 month period. And we'll probably stick with those because it's going to take the full hour that we're going to hopefully spend together here. So if, I just want to make sure you're in the right place, right? You're in the right place if you are interested in smooth, efficient movement and moving with less pain, more energy, and doing the things, all the things you want to do for as long as you want to do them with healthy aging and all that kind of stuff. Like I said in my email earlier today, if you, this could be for like for yesterday, I had a 15-year-old in here who has never had it together. Always been weak and always had weird, and just always lagging behind other kids. And when we saw him, hey, all we did was take him back to when he was first developing and have him go through it again. So this is for anyone who is interested in moving with efficiency so you don't wear yourself out. Essentially, if you move with these dysfunctional movement traps, these dysfunctional movement patterns, what happens is you end up just wearing tread off of your tires sooner than you're supposed to. Okay, for instance, if you're walking and you're spending time walking and every time you take a step, you're lurching over to the side because of some muscular imbalance, guess what? You're going to create an imbalance around your hips and you're going to get degeneration faster. You're going to wear the tread off the tires faster. If you are getting up and down off the floor, every time you lift something, you're lifting with your back instead of using your hips, you're going to wear out your back before it's time. You're going to get arthritic degeneration because the body lays down arthritis, calcium, stress wherever there's stress in the system or overload. Okay, so we're going to keep you from wearing out your tires, right? Plus, the overarching theme here, okay, the overarching theme is we want to get your central nervous system, your brain and your nervous system, into a state of what's called peace physiology. Your body cannot heal, it cannot rest, it cannot wire in new programs until your brain feels peace physiology, like everything is okay. Now you can give me new information. So calming the nervous system down, okay, calming the nervous system down to where your body says, okay, I can quit burning sugar for fuel. I can start burning fat for fuel. Okay, now my immune system can come back up into regulation. Okay, now without stress on board all the time, I can start mineralizing my bone instead of demineralizing my bone. Because why? Stress hormone does what? Demineralizes your bone, right? So we're just talking about getting out of stress physiology into peace physiology. So that's the extra bonus of being able to move efficiently and effectively and going through these transitions with grace. Okay, so I'm going to start with, and again, I think before my microphone came on, I asked if you were here and you were a student of Core Wellness Institute at some point in the past, over the past 10 years, you have enrolled and come into the Core Wellness Institute as a student. Could you mind just putting your name in student? And that would be fantastic. And if you're a guest, which means you've never enrolled in the Core Wellness Institute, just put in your name, where you're from, and guest, and that would be fantastic. Okay, and I just want to check in with that real quick. And yes, Randy, Dave Dyke, student. Hey, Dave. Kathy, student. Welcome, Kathy. Carlton, student, a long time. Brenda, Beth from Georgia as a guest. Welcome, Beth. Michelle, Santa Monica guest. All right. You guys are from all over the place and it's coming through there so fast. I cannot welcome everybody. Indy guest, Robin, student. Hey, Robin. Hey, Paul. All right. Thank you guys so much. And the reason I do these live webinars, it's been a while since I've done this actually. The reason I do these is one is I like to be able to present something for free that people can get a hold of and get some good benefit from, because this stuff needs to get out more into the public. Okay, and also it is my way of introducing you into my programs, right? And at the end, if you got some benefit, I'm going to give you some amazing discounts that I've never done before, discounts and bonuses for Core Wellness Institute enrollment. But there's no pressure, and that's just what's going to happen, right? Fair enough. So free stuff, great offer. What's to lose, right? So we're going to get right into the transitions, okay? Now, one I have talked about in the past, and if you have questions along the way, put them in the chat, and Rebecca is moderating for me over here, and she will let me know whenever someone's got something specific that they want to do, all right? Or they need help with. And I will have some, like an open Q&A at the end and I'll just open it up, all right? So first thing, before any, so examples of transitions, and you may have seen a video I've done already, but right there, what I just did, guess what? Transition. What is a transition? I have support with my hand, I have support with my leg, support with my knee, support with my hand, and support with my foot. And when I go from 3 supports, actually my hip is on the floor too, really I have 4 supports. When I go from 4 supports to 3 supports, that's what I call a magic moment. Because that instant of going from 4 points to 3 points is where the dysfunctional movement traps happen. Okay? That's where the traps happen, because over time, like right there, that's a transition. And it's becoming mindfulness of transitions, which brings you also into the benefit of the present moment. Guess what? That's meditation. That's mindfulness. Whenever you're thinking and going slowly through a transition, you're not thinking about what you have to do tomorrow at work. You're not thinking about what that person in the whatever said to you and upset you. You're not thinking about any of that. You're in the moment. Pause for amplification of that system, right? We need to focus on awareness through transitions. And I did not turn my phone off. So thank you, Rebecca. So one of the most important things when you go through transitions is, in order to go through a transition effectively, you first have to have awareness of your intra-abdominal pressure, IAP. This is your true core. The ability to create pressure and manage pressure around your intra-abdominal cavity is core stability. Okay? Core stability is not how many sit-ups you can do. It's not how long you can hold a plank. It's about whether you can pressurize your intra-abdominal container. Okay? And to do that, we go back all the way, actually it starts about 3.5 months, but 4.5 months is whenever it really happens. At about 3 months, we can lay down on the ground with all kinds of support, right? And we feel the connection of our back support zone to the ground, right? All that means is that we're getting ready to do something. Babies, before they get to that point, they're kind of, we're born kind of like all, in fetal position, literally, right? We're born in fetal position, and slowly, as we start wanting to actually do something and reach for something that's going to fulfill an emotional need. By the way, that's how infants develop. They push away from support to go towards something, to open up and go towards something that fulfills an emotional need. That will make me happy when I get food. That will make me happy when I get that rattle. When I get to mommy, that will make me happy. I'm doing something because I want a feeling. The Romanian orphanages debacle, I think it was back in the 80s or so, all these kids kind of just sat in these little pens and didn't have that love and affection. And you followed up with these kids, really low IQ, poor nervous system development. You have to have something, kids have to have something to reach towards to fulfill an emotional need. Same thing with us. We have to have the intention of wanting to be pushed away from something that's going to make us happy. Maybe that just might be getting up and down off the ground without pain, whatever. But the idea is intention. The baby has intention. They're going, okay, I'm thinking about starting to roll over now. Okay? And nothing can happen. None of that movement can happen until you create a fixed point. And that fixed point is your back support zone, which is the base of your ribs and basically right at the base of the ribs in the back. That connection, okay? Making that connection is the first point, right? And then we're also going to do what? We're going to breathe. We're going to make the connection, and then we breathe into support. Now, if I'm pushing down with my back support zone and I take a breath, it's automatically going to create pressure in my container. Another way to do it, and probably easier way for a lot of people, is actually to lay on your belly and feel, again, your front support zone, base of your ribs, top of your abdominal wall. Breathe into it. When you breathe into support, pressure is created. So without that awareness of pressure, and remember, that pressure is created through nothing more than the intention of wanting to do something. So baby back, breathing, baby belly, breathing, and feel how the container is pressurized, okay? Now, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this before I get to the actual transitions, but this is mission critical. Mission critical. If you don't have this, nothing else matters. Literally. If you don't have this, nothing else matters. Other ways, okay? You guys, I know you guys who have been students for a long time have heard me talk about pressure over and over again, so bear with me. Hopefully, this will really drive it home even more, the importance of it, because it's easy to forget, okay? Always first, intra-abdominal pressure, because this creates a pressure creates what we call a stone. We have to make a stone here. Or else, when we try to, we call it make the stone and push the stone. That's stuff from Stu McGill out of Waterloo, Ontario. For instance, if I want to go from this oblique sit to quadruped, which is the progression, right? Baby's here, we're about 7, 8, 9 months. We want to go over, we want to start crawling, right? We want to start doing stuff. We want to start going places, right? But if this isn't first, you know, if I'm going to just let all this go and I'm going to try and put, whenever I try to move, my shoulder has to do a bunch of work. And when I push away from my knee, I'm sending force through my core cylinder here. And if it's not stiff, I'm not transferring that force through my body. Okay? Just this movement of, okay, learn how to pressurize the container. And can you breathe into it and make sure your breath isn't coming up here. When you breathe into the container, you've created the stiffness. That's always first. Then you push away from support, and it's that simple. Okay? Now what happens is a lot of people, when they go through that system, they don't think about pushing away from support here, and they end up, doing this number with their shoulder. Okay? So here, low oblique sit, and if it's just lifting just a little bit, now we're training our shoulder blade. Now we're training our shoulder blade to organically and authentically and naturally go down into its optimal position to bear load and push through. Okay? Optimal position. This is what's called centration. The optimal position of a joint to bear load. Whenever you have the joint optimally aligned and centrated, you can bear load and push through with the least amount of stress and strain. And you're also, whenever that joint is centrated, it's sending a message to the brain that everything's okay. Everything is okay. It sends the message of peace physiology. Yes, this feels really good, right? Versus, if you're doing this all the time and pushing this right here, this is sending a message that, especially if you're not breathing down into here and you're breathing up into here, you're sending a message. Every time you move, you're sending that little message of something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. Even if you're not thinking something's wrong, your movements in and of themselves can create that, that state of elevated stress. Here we go. So we're going to spend some more time. We're going to go back to our back. Back to, here we are about 4.5 months. Boom. Now we're getting ready to roll, right, for the first time. We're here. We've connected. When we roll, we're going to go, this is 4.5 months, and then we're going to go to about 5 months, okay? 4.5 months, first thing that happens always is pressure. And at 4.5 months, it's almost like your pelvis isn't even touching the ground. If you're rolling at 5 months, and you're rolling with your ribs flared, and you're rolling through your pelvis, guess what? If I see a 5-month-old doing that, I know there's something wrong with that nervous system. Something's going on there. That's pathological. So we need to understand that snapshot of movement and be able to do it effectively so we can centrate and calm our nervous system down and not wear our tires too fast. Boom, there it is. And when we roll through, we're rolling through our rib cage, through our support zone, and not on our pelvis, okay? So just the other thing is, as we start to roll, the very first thing that we do, or the baby does, guess what? If we're going to go somewhere, we're going to look that way first. The eyes are extremely, extremely powerful. For all you, I know a lot of yoga teachers, Pilates people, Feldenkrais, I have a lot of martial arts people. these are people teaching movement all the time. Never forget the power of the eyes and the thought of the movement before the actual movement. When you have the intention and you see the movement happening before it ever happens, and you're looking and imagining it happening, the body automatically organizes the nervous system for the most efficient pattern. So use your eyes. So if you're gonna roll to the left, guess what? Look to the left. Guess what's gonna happen? Your head's gonna turn. Now, as you roll through, your first goal is to make contact with the backside of your shoulder, okay? Just by bringing that awareness to bear, you're automatically, guess what, look what's happening. When I roll and I nail my shoulder to the ground, actively put my back of my shoulder to the ground, I'm automatically opening up the front side of my rounded shoulders. So this is a great way to approach rounded shoulders, forward head posture, all that stuff. It's not easy, okay? Here we go, see? It's not easy. If you quit thinking about it, pretty soon you look like this. So it's important to train this stuff, right? Why is this not easy, to put that shoulder down? Why is it not easy? Because maybe you've had years of being in that stressed position. You've got cross posture syndrome, where the shoulders round forward, where the chin pokes forward, where you develop weakness in the scapular depressors, where you developed weakness in the deep neck flexors. You've developed a predictable pattern, the same pattern of stress that kids go through with cerebral palsy, or people go through when they have a stroke, polio, all these, these horrible things that turn us into twisted, curled forward beings. And that happens slowly over time to us if we don't pay attention to these simple little transitions and pushing away from support. Here we go. Connect. Make the connection here. Roll through. It's like you're walking. Your heel touches first, then your elbow. Now you're through, okay? Now this is a 5-month position. Baby plays here. Baby plays here. And what is the only cardinal rule of all organic posture and movement, efficient development? Where's my support? And I'm going to push away from it. Right now, the back of my shoulder is a major support for me. What am I going to do? I'm going to intend to push away from it. And here I can imagine that I have a support on my head. I'm going to push away from that. Okay? I'm pushing away from every perceivable support, and automatically everything goes where it's supposed to go. Now you can even play around. Now, some of you who have neck issues, neck pain, this is going to be challenging for you. You can actually give yourself a little support with a pillow or a yoga block, something. Okay? So you need to get in that position. And if you want to, you can actually start in this position. Start with the end in mind. Here, and push away. Let it fatigue, let it push away. Boom, you're creating length here, you're stabilizing your shoulder. Now, we do little pushes. Push away from our elbow and away from our bottom knee. And we get the idea of what push away feels like from there. Making the stone, pushing the stone. This is the critical part. If you skip that part, you're going to miss out on everything else. It's going to be really difficult whenever someone says, pull your shoulder blades down. You're going to, like this, what's that mean? But if you're doing this, just imagine, boom. You're already doing it because you've been through the process. You've been through the training. You've been through the development. So this is a great way to start training that uprighting system while putting stability into your shoulder. And you might feel some neck relief after this. When you do these things, do a little before and after. If you've got some neck pain, move it around a little bit. Do the move, or a shoulder problem, move it around a little bit. Do a few of these rolls, play around in that 5-month position, and then check out your motion again. You might just be surprised. Okay? How are we doing, Rebecca? Any questions? Everybody okay?
And someone said something about.
Because I'm going to go into the next thing here, which is going to be going into
Check
kind of
your
a
mic.
check my mic. I should be good. I'm on all my.
One person mentioned connection is being messed up. It might be rolling around.
Oh yeah, when I'm rolling around, sometimes this might
Ask how it is.
might swallow. Let me just check. Everybody, just check in on the mic real
One
quick.
person.
Mic still good? Anybody? Check in real quick. Okay, Rebecca, let me know. Yep, good. All right, cool. Just want to make sure. All right, now, whoop, here we go. What did I do? Going down again, right? Just doing that. So now, this whole get up thing eventually evolves into what? Just simply going over to quadruped. And this is going to go into walking. You have to master quadruped before you can master walking. You have to crawl before you can walk, right? That's what they say. You got to crawl before you can walk. So here we are again, low or high oblique sit position. And we're going to make the stone. We're going to push away from support. We're not going to let our shoulder, boom. Always starts here. It's almost like this does everything, and this is just cotton down here. It's just kind of coming along for the ride. This is everything right here. The more, this is steel, this is cotton, okay? This is steel, this is cotton. So we're going to come up, and we're going to just go ahead and roll over into quadruped, okay? All fours, pretty basic maneuver. A lot of people have seen this exercise, right? The bird dog exercise for low back pain and stuff like that. But what we're going to do here, and actually I'm going to turn my tail to you, I think, so you can see. Sorry for turning my tail to you, but this is important for understanding a transition. Okay, so a classic transition, classic exercises we have people do, an opposite arm and hand reach, right? This is bird dog. Classic exercise, which so many people do wrong. Here's mistake number one, where a transition is everything, okay? So as soon as people start to, watch what happens when I start to raise my right leg and my left arm, okay? So this is the goal. Here is dysfunctional, watch. Okay? One of the most common mistakes I see is that right there. Why did I shift so much over to the side? Why couldn't I keep my core solid as I did that? Why do I automatically shift? Because a couple of things, right? One is maybe my hip on that side is a little weak, but more often than not, what fixes that is the awareness of where your support is going during the transition. And that's going to be into my right shoulder, through my solid core and into my right shoulder. So the first mistake is we lose this, we shift, and we do that, okay? Nobody is going to get better in any way, kind, shape, or form doing that. First thing is, boop, make your stone, right? Breathe into there, intra-abdominal pressure. Push away from every perceivable support point, my knee, my hand, everything, even my head, even my foot from behind, all push away points, okay? But as soon as you start the lift, before anything ever even is perceivably moving, this hand has to really feel the support going through it. Now, my right scapula is holding everything down. It's connecting to my hips, my glutes on this side. And now I've got a strong bird dog. This takes us into crawling, right? Let me just do this so I can see. I'm going to crawl towards you, right? So every time I pick every time I reach, so even just reaching automatically, I'm getting more through me and more through this hand. And now when I pick up my knee to make that next move, I'm putting a lot of pressure through my right shoulder and my left hip. Okay? And if you're crawling, looks like this. Again, that looks pathological. If I saw a 10-month-old crawling around like that, I would say, wait a minute, what is this? So, and here's how that spills in to actual walking. Okay? So if I'm basically walking is a contralateral maneuver, right? Whoops, you get that right? This, walking like this. Walking and running are contralateral maneuvers. Opposite arm and legs are moving at the same time. And that's what bird dog is. Opposite arm and leg are moving, okay? I said that. Opposite arm and leg are moving. So whenever you're walking and you're taking a step and you're starting to bear load through your left arm, if you have crossed posture syndrome and you are really tight through the top and your shoulder blade is not doing a good connection as you walk, like my left foot, right hand, boom. It's the same as me being on the floor with my right hand and left foot supported. So when I take a step, my whole body is stabilized not only by my hip muscles, which are very important, okay, but also, look, I'm pulling through, look what's happening. I'm developing support from my shoulder blade. That shoulder blade is connecting to my backside of my hips, and that's what's driving me, okay? That is what's driving me. So if your upper quarter is all jacked up and tight and up and you're breathing up here, your gait is going to be inefficient. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be integrated. It's going to end up wearing the tread off of your tires. So I hope this idea of paying attention to the little bitty details, slowing down the movements, such as just crawling, right? Get on the floor and crawl and just, okay, what's happening as I go through there? Really slow it down and use intense neural drive, it's called. That means you've got every ounce of your brain is working on focusing on what's happening with your support and what is your intention. And again, what does that do? In the moment. Your mindfulness in the moment. So it does more than just strengthen you and help you move efficiently. It also calms your nervous system. We know that mindfulness meditation or mindful movement has got tons of research behind it for lowering stress levels and all that kind of fun stuff. Basically all the benefits of meditation can be found right here. But you have to be intentional throughout your day. If you go through your day in a crazed mode, you're not going to feel this. Okay? So the idea is that yes, you get down and you work on some simple things like this. Okay? You work on some simple things like this, but throughout your day, you embody the sense and the intention of growth and renewal rather than stress and decay. What would a person at peace look like? This or this? When you embody growth and renewal, I call it ground and grow with gratitude, the triple G, right? Ground and grow and live with a sense of gratitude and intention of renewal versus the intention of why does this always happen to me, right? This is why does this always happen to me? Why does this always happen to me? Versus how can I use this? This is a great obstacle that I get to overcome here. Right? I know it's trite, but it's true. The obstacle is the way. That's a book I'm reading right now by Ryan Holiday. Great. He's one of the Stoic philosophers. He brings Stoic philosophy into practical application. So Ryan Holiday, check him out. He's got a series of 6 or 7 books, I think. Okay. Pardon.
Well, are you transitioning?
No questions? No?
There's one, but it's a little bit back.
Okay, that's okay. I'm going to take that and I'm going to go through one more thing. Actually, I'm going to do this one more thing and then we can go back to that.
Sounds good.
So the last transition I want to talk about is something that we all do a whole heck of a lot. And that is getting up and down out of a chair. Okay, getting up and down out of a chair. So and basically always the same rules apply, guys. Okay, always the same rules apply. Here we are, we're sitting, right? We're sitting, and then we're gonna transition from, butt and 2 feet support, mostly sit bones, right, to feet. Okay. Now, what does this look like most of the time? Most of the time, it looks like a big lean forward, punched over back, and we go to here, and then we use our back and pull us up. Okay. That's a classic get up out of a chair move. Same thing when we get down. Go down, round our back, and plop. Okay, that's the first thing is you don't plop. Okay, you always have to use the concept of reversibility with movement. Especially when you're getting up and down. At any point during sitting down, you should be able to stop, reverse the movement, and get back up. Okay. Back to the rule, right? The 2-step organic posture and movement solution. Find support, push away. But what's always first? The container gets pressurized. The bigger the movement, the more force the movement takes, the more pressure you create. Okay, here we go. You can still do a hip hinge. Why not hinge from your hips rather than in your back? That's going to place a lot of stress on your discs, especially if you're younger. That places a lot of stress on your discs. Hip hinge, roll. Now you got the stone. Make the stone. And where's my support? My support is going all the way out of my sit bones and all through my legs. Okay. If I don't have generated support here and I start pushing, that's all on my knees. I can share the load. It's called load sharing. Share the load. Why not stiffen this up a little bit, make the stone, then push the stone. Use a little brace as you get up. Your pressure is anti-gravity. Okay, there's a difference between just doing squats without a pressurized container, and there's doing squats with a pressurized container. It literally lifts you. It is the anti-gravity system. So again, hip hinge, feel the support shift, feel that support shift. You got 3 points of support. Your base of your heel, base of your big toe, base of your little toe. Find all 3 points. And one bonus tip for you here, as you make that shift, pressure. As you transition, spiral through. As you get up if you get up off the ground, your feet are going to screw into the ground. It's going to create a spiral that comes through you, and that is your anti-gravity system. That's spiraling into alignment. You guys in the course, go back and check in on the core concepts into spiraling again, because that's how we move. We spiral. We spiral. Okay? So,
From Elizabeth, it's a 2-part question, so I'll read it.
okay, that's fine.
Can you please explain what muscle or strategy to use to make the upper body rib connection when lying on your back? And to clarify, I mean the bringing the rib cage down and creating the initial stone. What do we use to create that?
Okay, what do we use to create that? Great question. I may have breezed over that. Okay. So what do we use? I'm going to try to do it without talking about body parts, because that's an internal cue. Our nervous system responds better to external cues, so I'm going to use external cues. There's several ways to think about that. You can move this here, back just a touch. It's weird, my camera is not mirrored. It's like I'm moving my right arm and it looks like I'm moving my left arm in the camera. It's freaking me out a little bit. Okay. So here we are. How do we make that connection? What do we use? Okay. So don't think about what you use. Think about, I'm going to lay here and I'm going to laugh. I'm going to cough. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to bear down like I'm going to the bathroom. Okay. All of these things increase pressure. So that may help. Okay. Those are cues that don't have anything to, what's happening there really is your anterior rib cage is activating the abdominal wall, serratus anterior, but that doesn't help anybody to talk about activate your serratus, right? What does that mean, right? Make pressure. Another way that I have people do this is I get a baby back training wheels, and usually it's a folded towel or something like that, or a small pillow. Yeah, actually. Take a small folded towel or a bath towel or something that's got a little more girth than this, okay? But you lay that on the ground, it's going to be like the fulcrum of, I'm going to be the teeter-totter board, and that's going to be the iron bar on the teeter-totter, okay? So we're going to lay and we're going to put that right at the base of the ribs, and it's going to push your ribs up a little bit, right? So if it pushes your ribs up a little bit, say, wait a minute, no, I'm going to smash that thing, okay? The biggest mistake here I see is when people try to do that, they end up doing a posterior tilt of their pelvis. It's not about this down here. It's about connection. Make the connection, okay? Make the connection. Just like that, okay? So those are some strategies that will help. When you're standing or sitting, you can think about what I call lowest expiratory position, which means you take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you allow your rib cage to fall to its lowest expiratory position. You guys in the course, this is under diaphragmatic anti-gravity magic, right? And the power of pressure. So if you're in the course, go back to those two for a more detailed explanation of activating this pressurized container system. But if you just think about every time you breathe out, okay, see what happened? Everything kind of came down into a natural place. Good? And then when you take your next breath, don't allow your ribs to go up. Allow the breath to go this way, okay? And that might be tight and not very expansive for some people. And so, you know, that's the thing. You know, all of this push-away stuff works great, but if you have years and years of this stuff, you know, of crossed posture, and you're kind of amnesiac of your core system, and you've got all these blockages, right? It's really hard to push through an actual tissue blockage, okay? And that's why I've dedicated 10 years of my life or more, 20. I've started teaching this stuff originally when I learned this before I got out of college, just 21 years ago, teaching people about cross-posture syndrome. And it's such a predictable pattern. Like I talk about, you know, any stress draws us into it. It's a thought, it's a relationship, it's money, it's your boss at work, it's whatever. Just a thought can drive you into it, right? Nutrition can drive you into it. You know, sugar going all over the place, your sugar bottoming out, and your body going under, releasing stress hormones to get your sugar back up. Toxins from the environment, sending a buzz through your nervous system. Postures at work, chronic postures. If you've got a computer desk job thing, you're going to eventually develop these patterns. They have to be released and rewired. They have to be released and rewired. Or else you're going to continue to move efficiently, and these transitions are going to be nearly impossible for you to do. You have to reverse the CPS now. Okay? You have to reverse the CPS now. So I'm going to take some questions. All right? I'm going to open it up for ask me anything type of questions. But before I do, I'm going to take you and I'm going to just show you what I'm so excited about with this course, because it is literally, you know, it's been a while since I've actually promoted it because I got kind of, I hate to say it, but after teaching it for like 20 years and saying the same thing over and over again, I got kind of bored. And so I was like, nobody's going to want this. I'm sick of talking about this. And then I went back into it and, just kind of going through some of the old videos from, 8 or 9 or 10 years ago. And I was like, this stuff is gold. It really is. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm being selfish because of it's not about me. It is about you. It's not about me. So that's why I've kind of changed gears. I am not going to do like, in the past I've done attempted doing something every week, releasing some coaching stuff and staying on top. But what I've done is I'm scaling back on the coaching piece, and I'm just making the content available as a bundled package for very, very inexpensive. So I'm gonna take you through that. Okay, I'm gonna play with my little machine here and see if I can make something happen. Presentation options. I'm going to share a slide, and I'm going to select from my library, and I'm going to click on my open file. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna take you through this real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all these slides. I just want to show you what I've got for you and what it can do for you. Again, this is cross posture. It knows no bounds as far as age. It can be a youth. It can be 75, 80 years old. It can be middle-aged woman. Doesn't matter. It's pervasive and it's out there. Okay. We've tried to do standing desks. Like here's an instance of a standing desk going to fix everything, right? Well, not if you don't correct the cross posture to begin with, right? So I kind of giggle at that one. It causes lots of trigger points and pain, unnecessary, okay? It can causes headaches, causes neck pain, causes shoulder pain, causes leg pain, mimic sciatica. All kinds of stuff happens when you're not in balance. You overuse muscles, trigger points equal pain. That's it. And basically you age quicker. Right? You shrink, right? You don't have to. There'll be a little bit over time. Maybe you lose a little bit of water in your discs, maybe something like that, but you don't have to succumb. You can reverse. Okay? You want to stay away from the spinal degeneration like it happened with these dysfunctional movement patterns, these dysfunctional movement traps. They cause degeneration before our time. This is one of my pet peeves. I see a lot of exercise programs that are meant to be good, but look at this. It's the form, it's all about the details. This actually was this was a posture workout. And look at this, her knee is going in, she has all kind of stress through her system. This is my pet peeve, and this is what breaks my heart, to see people go through stuff and have, I'm not gonna say poor, unoptimal, non-optimal information, okay? There's little Dr. Steve. I just put this in here to demonstrate. It's all about, going back into our infant development. And yes, this is my story. This is my sister. This is me. This is my little brother. And this is me on the Bears, undefeated in 1979. My point in putting this in is nobody taught me how to move. So by the time this is me at 12 years old, throwing no-hitters in Little League. I had torn my shoulder up by the time I was 14. And that's when I started seeing chiropractors and got involved in all this. I did somehow make it through high school and ended up playing ball in college. But by my second year of college, I was washed up because I never knew about my center. Nobody ever taught me this stuff, okay? This is my years at Purdue. I also played for a junior college in Illinois called Olney Central. And then I ended up going to IU, getting my kinesiology degree, study of human movement. And that took me into chiropractic school, which was pretty cool. But I was like, what? I don't understand this stuff. I was lost and confused and unsure about all this stuff because it was just, I was seeing people get adjusted, and that's passive care. That creates dependence if you don't do something about it, right? That's another pet peeve that breaks my heart. People, getting adjusted 3 times a week for 6 months, and the guy saying or gal saying, well, you just haven't been through enough yet. I'm like, if I'm not seeing major results within 6 sessions or less, then I'm doing something wrong. Okay, change it up. And so I finally found Clayton Skaggs towards the end of my chiropractic school career, and he and Craig Liebenson had just come back from Prague, and they learned from the masters, and I got to learn from Vladimir Janda in person as well. He is literally the father of muscle imbalance. He's the one who determined, and by studying kids with cerebral palsy, it gave Dr. Janda the idea that predictable stress-induced muscle imbalances could be identified and reversed, okay? And so he started seeing these same patterns, and people with back pain started working with him, and then the rest is history. He started teaching the world, and Dr. Skaggs and Dr. Liebenson brought this back to the States, and I was one of the first people to start learning this stuff directly from these visiting scholars, as they called themselves. And you can see that there's the predictable patterns. Here's the muscles of tightness and shortness, and here's the muscles of weakness and inhibition. You could go down and literally, on anybody who's stressed or having problems, you're going to find tight calf muscles. You're going to usually find tight hip flexors, tight adductors, your groin muscles, your hamstrings. Okay, we're going to find weaknesses in the serratus anterior, the deep neck flexors, the scalenes. They're predictable. And so that's why I started doing in my practice early on, is I started treating these imbalances. Instead of just adjusting, I still adjusted anytime I found a joint that was messed up. We still adjusted, but we have to retrain the system. This kid here, you know, this is, she's now like out of college and married and like crazy. I've been doing this a long time, guys. But this is activating that system, activating the growth and renewal system, okay? This is another example of what it looks like when your ribs are flared. This is about a 70-year-old guy laying on the table. When I see this, very stiff ribs, there is no core support here. And he always came in with back pain. And we struggled with getting him better, and we finally got him to activate his core, and he finally got some better. But this is just an example of lower cross syndrome, where the ribs flare and you get tightness in the front of the hips, and there's no support for the core, for the lumbar spine in the front side of the body. Okay. And then I also had a turning point with, this is Yerzy and Misha. Misha was Janda's #1 assistant. This was a weekend in Chicago where we talked about yoga, Janda, and core training. And he blew me away saying, just keep pushing away from support points. He said, your stability is weak in the mind. Right? And it really hit home with me. And that's when I really started taking this stuff into overdrive. And I started thinking, okay, how can I just get babies, how can I get people just to do what babies did? Just find support and push away from it. That's the simple two-step process. But when you have cross posture, it makes that more difficult to do. So I set out to create a program. And this organic posture, this is what we're designed to do. When you push away from support, it naturally awakens your youthful posture programs, but it's very fragile because any kind of stress draws you out of it. So that's right. That's why I spent today can you still do this? Can you get on your back and connect your back support zone? And we started taking people through this. And this is all stuff again out of Prague. Initially, the DNS, Dynamic Neuromuscular Stabilization School, from Pavel Kolaj is the main mastermind behind all this stuff, and treating people like infants and reawakening their natural organic patterns. This is me with Pavel, who was a bit bad picture, but we spent a weekend in Phoenix with Pavel Kolaj and gleaned a lot of information from that. And that's his #1 assistant, Alina. And so I started posting about it. I started teaching about it. I started teaching online. This post here is from 2008, right? I'm an old man online. I've been doing this for a long time. I started posting on YouTube. I think, we've reached over 3 million views and 30,000 subscribers now. Getting this message out to the world. Well, this is an old slide, really old, actually. I should have updated that one. It's been however many, 30 million, over 3 million views and 30,000 subscribers, getting the word out. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to take this and create like a circuit, like a curved circuit, like have people go around and do it in our office. And that's exactly what I did. Is I set up these exercises and I had people go through in a mindful way. Right? There was no music blaring. There was ambient music going. There was actually some affirmations tagged to the walls as well to kind of rewire the brain. We rewired the brain with thoughts. We rewired the brain with nutrition, and we rewired the brain with movement. So that was, we had nice benefits in pain, energy, and quality of life, although we didn't have a lot of pain to begin with, because these were people who are already patients of mine who volunteered for the trial. I should have gotten people who are in massive pain. We would have seen a bigger difference there. Medical symptoms questionnaire had a nice dip. So we did this trial, found a lot of good benefit. And so I ended up turning it into an actual program where people came in, did the circuit. They got weekly action guides. We did seminars every week. And I did a basic, the same thing to everyone, a little 15-minute muscle release. And this was a $2,000 program, guys. So my goal was to turn this into like a franchise, right? But I thought better of all of the red tape involved with hiring a bunch of people and doing that. So I decided to, I did get some nice press out of it as well. And so again, a lot of good results, right? We got rid of 10 years of migraines, finally over. Barbara says she got rid of a lot of dangerous drug use. Now she's in dependence, right? She had this fear of dependence. Now she has the feeling of independence. Fundamental changes make such a big difference. Learned how to improve my posture, tone my muscles, relieve the tension in my neck. Having the emotional calm and relaxed, clear mind has been wonderful. The breathing technique has especially been useful to alleviate the stress. A lot of great benefits. So I got a lot of awesome results from that. So I just went ahead and made the program online. I started the Core Wellness Institute and I made the Reverse CPS Now, Reverse Cross Posture Syndrome Now course. This is the welcome page to it. And then I started getting great results with that. This is Rick going through the backpacking for the first time in 30 years. No longer spending $200 a week at a chiropractor. I mean, come on, right? Heather, and from Canada. Chris, new body awareness has been revitalizing. Cravings for unhealthy food all but gone, because we don't just do movement, we do nutrition, we do lifestyle, this is a lifestyle medicine program, therapeutic lifestyle change, okay? No longer frustrated. Stella from Australia, she can't believe that she's blown away that someone in Indiana can help me here in Australia, where I haven't been helped much face-to-face. She just can't believe that this neurodevelopmental stuff isn't more widely known. It just makes so much sense. I agree, Stella. And this is our star student, Nancy, had ominous low back pain. Now she's doing 4Ks, training for half marathons, doing amazing stuff. So those are just a few things. And this is Steve, who was able to avoid surgery by using the techniques. The surgeon said, just keep doing what Dr. Steve says. I'm probably not going to go deep into the course right now because we're getting a little long on time here. Maybe I'll just, you know what? The software is a little bit glitchy. I will say, I'll go through here. And who should not, so basically, I will go back. Let me see here real quick. All right, I'm gonna go back to my camera real quick so you can see me talk about this. Okay, so that's kind of the story of the Reverse CPS Now program, and that's what I'm offering you today. Basically, I take you through modules and showing you how to do detailed exercises. And then I have a mini circuit. For each circuit, there's 5 circuits made up of basic exercises that were the same exercises I had the people doing in the circuit. I just put them as videos. And each one of the exercises has details on making sure you do them correctly, because the devil's in the details with this stuff, right? And there's a mini circuit on each one of the modules that kind of goes through with me with a little music behind it. Some of them are 15 minutes, some of them are like 25 minutes. But the idea is to learn the detailed exercises to reverse CPS and then do the mini circuits. And there's just 5 of them, right? And this is, I call it the Do This First program, because you have to do this first before you go in and start doing kickboxing or maybe you want to start yoga and you're not sure how to move your body, you don't want to get hurt, do this first. You're thinking about Pilates, do this first. You're thinking about doing P90X or CrossFit. You have to learn how to do this stuff first. Okay, so that's basically set up. Those exercise modules are set up for you very cleanly, right? And you can take as much time as you want. You should be able to get through 1 module a week. There is a core concepts module that goes even before the actual modules that shows you that has some of the core concepts like we talked about. What is centration? What is spiraling? What is the push away phenomenon? So learning how just to do some of these without even doing any exercises, just if you employ the core concepts and don't ever do any of the exercises, you're still going to have amazing benefit. Okay. So in addition to that, there is the Therapeutic Lifestyle Action Guides, which basically gives you one mindset thing, one movement thing, and one nutrition thing to focus on every week. There's 12 of them. Therapeutic Lifestyle Change Action Guides, TLC. Okay, there's that. There's the Activities of Daily Living library. You know, how do you get in and out of a car? What do you do when you drive? What if you're bicycling? How should you do that? How do you go up and down stairs? How do you? What's some other ones? How do you garden? I have one on pushing and pulling. Activities of daily living, okay? Because that's where the rubber meets the road. If you're not doing activities of daily living cleanly, then you run into pain and dysfunction. With these dysfunctional movement traps, you end up wearing the tread off your tires sooner than your time. And you then end up, not living a smaller life, essentially. And there's one more thing, and it's the 10 core secrets of healthy aging. We did a weekly seminar. This is all audio, and we did the 10 core secrets of healthy aging. Okay, we have one overview session. We have one session about insulin and sugar management. We have a session on detoxification. Like, what is detoxification, right? Is it liver? Is that gut? What's a cleanse? All that kind of stuff. We have one on stress and stress management, proper food, and possible supplements that you might be able to use to manage that. We talk about methylation, which is important for your mental health and your cancer risk and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, there's 10 core secrets. I'm not going to remember them all off the top of my head, but that's it. That represents, that $2,000 program is combined into this Reverse CPS Now program. That normally is sold for $297. If you go to Reverse CPS Now right now, you'll see that the course is there and it sells independent study for $297. That's not what we're going to do today, okay? I've had it for obviously I'm not going to charge you $2,000, right? That's, I did do some muscle releases and you're not getting personal attention one-on-one, but I have had masterminds where they said, you need to charge at least $1,000 for this. I'm like, man, that's really tough for me to swallow. I guess it's worth it if you save $200 a week and you can avoid a surgery. Is that worth $1,000? Probably, right? I have sold it for as much as $500, but we're going to bring it down to less than $300 for one payment of $297 is what it currently goes for. Webinar attendees get to take $100 off of that. So it's one payment of $197, and that offer should pop in there, Rebecca. You can pop that offer in the side, and it'll come up as a button, I believe, when she presses it, hopefully. And that button will take you to a page. You won't lose this. It'll just take you to a page where you can get access to that $197. Now, in addition to that, you okay? You see it?
Be for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I think there's a countdown timer on it because there's something else here. Whenever when you buy online through this webinar, you also get the additional, I also have a Fix Your Forward Head program that I put together, which is 2 deep dive training sessions, plus another mini circuit. This is just focused more on the forward head. A lot of people are concerned, the Reverse CPS program takes care of everything, but I did make a smaller program focused just on Fix Your Forward Head that I sell for $97. And I'm going to also include that. So we're making a little bundle here. So you get the Reverse CPS Now program, the Fix Your Forward Head program, okay, which is worth $97 as well. These are real values, right? And since I'm not continuing to do like monthly coaching, what I did is I took everything that I've done since the beginning of coaching with this course, roughly 10 years ago, and I included that in the coaching vault. There are Q&A archives in there where I basically answer every possible question imaginable. And so that is available to you for free as well. That monthly coaching has been sold from anywhere from $30 a month to $97 a month. And this is like 9 or 10 years worth of coaching. The Coaching Vault is 9 or 10 years worth of coaching that I've done. So I conservatively used the $30 a month, and if it was $30 a month for like a year, it'd be like 300, just about over $300 worth of value. So that is included as well with this bundle. And the last thing is I'm also going to give you, I'm not going to leave you hanging if you need help. I'm not going to leave you hanging if you need help. I will give you 90 days of making the comments be alive on the site, so you can contact me directly through the comments on the site and get my personal help for what you have going on. That's done through the comments on the site. It's not through email. It's not through the comments on the site. And you have access to that for 3 months. If after that, basically the comments section kind of disappears and you become more of an independent study person, if you want to do continued coaching after that, it's just $1 a day. I'll just hook you up and it'll be $30 a month. And if you would still want to be able to communicate with me, you just pay me $30 a month and $1 a day, not bad for having me on retainer. And we'll just, and you can cancel that anytime as you go into the future.
What's up?
How about that? You guys okay? You guys okay with all that?
We have questions. Whenever you're ready.
We got questions. Okay, so that is it. And the last thing, I just sound like a marketer. One more thing, and don't forget this one last thing. And what did it say? And now, and that's not all. And it is not all. I literally am doing marketing because I want you to get in. I want you to have this information. So I'm doing all of the things that my marketing background has told me to do. Right? I'm giving you a discount for a limited time because this web class will only be available for a couple of days for replay, if the replay even works. I don't know. But after that, all of these bonuses and things go away. It's back to, the price goes back up. Okay. So if you're interested in taking control, getting everything back, learning how to transition with grace, fix the posture thing once and for all, start moving better and living a bigger life instead of a smaller life, then now's the time. Now is the time so you can keep doing the things you love as long as you want to do them. Okay, that's it. That's all. Let's talk about questions, okay?
Bet.
You're just going to read them?
Yep. When finding the stone in standing, are you pushing against your ribs?
When finding the stone in standing, are you pushing against your ribs?
Yeah, I wonder if you were talking about the sit to stand.
When finding the stone in standing, are you pushing against your ribs? Finding the stone in standing, are you pushing against your ribs? How about a little clarification, okay? We'll go to the next one.
Okay, the next one. Can these transitions help with lumbar lordosis? Yes.
Excessive sway in the back, okay? Like I said, if just by learning your how to switch on your low back support zone, I mean, just by working and getting good at this, you are working against that excessive sway in your back. The excessive lumbar lordosis eventually, see that right there? Transition. Good. When you have too much sway in your back for too long, you end up with what they call stenosis. And the excess overload in your low back, you get facet syndrome, pain that sometimes radiates into your butt, sometimes down your leg, and it puts you at risk for stenosis as you age. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. Yes, it can. These transitions definitely help with that. And of course, the course is full of the same information to help with that lower cross syndrome. Okay. Sometimes it's stretching out the front of the hip correctly. Sometimes it's working on strengthening the core. Sometimes it's working on strengthening the upper quarter. But you do all of them, as all these predictable patterns can be treated through the Reverse CPS Now course and the whole coaching bundle that we have.
All right. Wendy, great course. I'm watching from France. Anyway, Carlton, thank you so much for this. I fell last Saturday from the bed to the floor, and it took me nearly 30 minutes to get up. I am positive that had I known what you just taught us, I'd be able to get up quicker and more efficiently.
Yeah, great. Yeah. The whole get up thing, it should be an exercise. It should be part of everybody's routine. Get up and down off the floor. Make the stone, push away from support. Start with little transitions and start working towards the bigger transitions. Okay? So yes.
I don't know how to say his name or her. Dibigo, Dite, Bogo. Oh, the tight piriformis. On when you were going through your tightnesses.
Oh, right, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Tight piriformis is a big thing.
Do you maintain the intra-abdominal pressure as much when you breathe out as when you breathe in? I find when I relax and lose the pressure, my posture goes. So should I keep the pressure all day?
Should you keep the pressure all day? The answer is yes. But it's a continuum. You don't walk around like when I'm going to get up off of when I'm going to come, if I'm getting up off the ground right here, I'm going to put some pretty good pressure so I can make the stone and I can push the stone, okay? But just standing and going through your day, you don't need to be, it's like you can be like just the intention, just finding support and having the thought of pushing away automatically turns that on, let's say 2%. So you get a 2% contraction. And just by the intention of pushing away and breathing down and feeling your breath, make the container get bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller. By feeling that all the time, you are simply pressurizing your container all day long. So if you let it out, and the idea is the intention when you breathe in, yes, it makes a little more. When you breathe out, you just keep the intention is made through the push away. Every exhale shouldn't be a collapse, and every inhale shouldn't be pressurized, right? The pressure is kind of there all the time through the intention of pushing away from support. Remember, we find support, we have the intention of moving towards something that's going to fulfill an emotional need, something that will make us happy, something that will help us get up from the ground if we want to get up from the ground. Just the intention keeps the brace on all the time. The breath just naturally gives you more support. Sometimes I'll have people, sniff a little bit of air. Stu McGill says that a lot. Like in the weightlifting world, they'll have you sniff some air and create the tension. Okay, if they're getting ready to do a heavy lift, your deadlift, now you're set. Now you can but you keep the tension. And again, it's not 100% all the time. You can use as much or as little as you want, but it's a fluid core. It's always moving. It's not a rigid, walk around this type of core. It's a fluid, dynamic core stability through the intention of pushing away and breathing functionally.
Carlton, I'm sure other voice teachers have pointed out to you the similarity between what I call senior's posture and what you describe as IAP. When I walk, I always use singing posture, which makes my walking much less tiring and painful.
What is singing? Oh, sorry.
What you described seems exactly the same. Bravo. It was more of a statement than a question.
Okay. It's kind of blurry there.
No, it's okay. You're okay.
Okay. Yes. Singing posture. Anybody who can belt knows how to use their diaphragm. They were taught somewhere along the line how to use their diaphragm. Pressurize the container. That's what keeps your tone, right? That's how you project. If you're like this, you can't project like this. You project like this. Yes. Thank you, Carlton.
Kathy, do you recommend specific modules for osteoporosis of the hip?
Do I recommend specific modules for osteoporosis of the hip? There is a module called Happy Hips and Shoulders, which talks a lot about hips. But generally, movement patterns in the hip, hip movement patterns are dependent upon This is first, all the attachments of the muscles to the hip start here. Everything starts here. When this is on and you have the intention of pushing away, automatically joints are going to move in their optimal position more functionally, maybe not perfectly if you've had a lot of tension over time. But yes, so it's not just that module, it's still the whole thing. The whole system works as an integral piece. It's an integral unit, right? Everything works with everything else. Everything is connected. So, but that said, there is a module called Happy Hips and Shoulders, which focuses a little more on hip function, okay? And also there is a, in the bonus section in the coaching vault, there is a topic-specific seminar that I did, a webinar just like this, that is on sciatica. And one of the things with sciatica is, one of the reasons we have sciatica is because of hip problems. So there's specific hip things to do in there as well. So the answer is everything works better whenever our joints are centrating. And that's kind of my basic, almost cookie cutter answer, because it's true. Truth is truth. This, when you're moving with centration, there's not as much wear and tear. You centrate and move the ball and sockets like how they're designed to move. You take away tension, you take away strain, you take away the muscle tension and muscle imbalances around the hip, and then the hip functions better. So you're not going to get rid of the the arthritic. You said osteoporosis, didn't you? Sorry, I was transposing arthritis. Osteoporosis, same thing. Yeah, just weight bearing through the hip joint. Absolutely same thing, same answer, just different condition or different dysfunction.
Pamela answered her own question, but it's a good one. How long would I have access to the program with this payment?
How long would you have access to the program with one payment of $197? You have it for a lifetime. Lifetime. Sorry, I need to look into the camera and not into my monitor. You have it for a lifetime. As long as the internet is alive, you will have access to this training. Okay, so it's lifetime access to everything. Basically, it's the all access pass to the entire Core Wellness Institute. Lifetime pass. Normally $297, $100 off, plus your $97 bonus of your Fix Your Forward Head program, plus the coaching vault worth $300, plus your $90 worth of 3 months of direct access coaching. It's all for one price today of $197. But that's only here for webinar attendees. Reverse CPS now. And the actual URL, I'll say it, I know it should be, type it in as well. It's www.gettoyourcore, get to your core, not get to your core, gettoyourcore.com/bundle. Okay? And so www.gettoyourcore/bundle. And that will take you to the page where you can access the everything. All access pass. This is the first time I've ever bundled everything together like that. And I may be insane by doing it, but I don't know if I'll do this again. But on this webinar today, that's the deal. All right. I just want you guys to, it just breaks my heart, literally breaks my heart to see people struggle when I know they just fix this stuff, become aware of their center, become aware of the CPS patterns that they have, and having a specific and proven program that's been working for 20 years to help people with all kinds of stuff, and not just back pain, sciatica, neck pain, TMJ, plantar fasciitis, shoulder impingement syndrome. What else? There even a guy from where is he from? He's an osteopath. He's one of my testimonials. He got rid of his heart palpitations by centering and getting his nervous system calmed down through these techniques. So it covers a lot. It's not about the condition. It's about fixing the dysfunctions. Biggest thing. It's not about condition. It's about dysfunction. We can find dysfunction, make it functional. Conditions take care of themselves. Don't label yourself, I've got sciatica, I've got a bad back, I've got this, I've got that. All that is a label. So insurance can bill something. It doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters is where you're dysfunctional and where you're functional. How close can you get to when you were a baby? How close can you approximate that? When you bring your body back in time, some of the dysfunctions start to fall away and some of the conditions start to all of a sudden disappear. How we doing?
I think someone was busy signing up and missed whether you answered the pushing the stone with your standing. So,
Someone was signing up, and
I'm trying to find it here.
let me just do something real quick here and get my I'm way down out of the screen here. Let me look into the computer here and see what we can figure out.
Did you explain the stone and standing? I was busy signing up.
Did I explain the stone and standing? I still don't quite know what
And
the...
Beth said you answered it at that time. So the question was in arrears of you having passed that. So you did talk about it.
Pushing the stone when standing.
I think so.
Basically, the way to find the stone when you're standing is any of the, first of all, you can always just go to the floor, find your baby belly, find your baby back, feel the pressure, and then come up to standing and then imagine that same thing happening. You can also create the stone by laughing. You can put your fingers here, cough, sneeze, achoo, bear down like a bowel movement. But the key is you don't want to do this. That's one of the things that's in the core concept module. I talk about the biggest mistake in pushing away is flexing forward. You have to, the idea, the pressure creates length. The pressure shouldn't create shrinkage. The pressure creates length. We spiral from our feet and we spiral into alignment. Okay? So those are some strategies for making the stone. And then you just keep the intention of pushing away with everything that you do. Embody the growth mindset. Embody the growth mindset. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly renewing. I'm constantly expanding. If you can live with that state of mind, your posture is automatically going to start clearing up. And people are going to notice it. You know what they're going to say after people come in and say all the time? People keep asking me if I lost weight. They say, did you do something different with your hair? Did you get a new outfit? No, I'm holding myself with power, right? Amy Cuddy wrote about this in Presence. She had talked about the Wonder Woman pose before you go into an interview, right? It makes a difference if people feel it, especially if you're in the position of needing to influence someone. You're in sales. Like I said, we're all selling all the time, but you're either selling yourself to someone, you're selling a product. But if you present yourself with the feeling of growth and expansion, it's palpable. People know it, people feel it. I hope you feel that from me. I want you to be able to go out and serve with power and confidence. You can't serve humanity, serve the world, you just can't serve when you're in pain. You can't serve if you're all crunched up. Get to your core. Embody growth, ground, grow, gratitude, 3G. Just that intention will get you 3/4 of the way there. And then the exercises, the modules and the exercises, the mini circuits, that'll take you the rest of the way. It'll make everything easier to do. It'll make that push away effortless. So it's easier to stay in it all the time. Two things.
I've gotten a lot of comments about the video going blurry. While mine was blurry, yours was not. I think the recording is going to be a lot better on this. And
Okay.
the second thing is inside the course, those are all recorded.
Right. Thank you. Inside the course, there are some that are recorded live. Okay. There are some that are recorded live. So it's not like crisp HD quality, but 80% of all the videos will be like you're, watching a HD TV. Okay. And also, in the modules, I forgot to mention, there's also PDF printable PDFs. So that have the breakdown of the exercise, how to get started, how to, the coaching points, common mistakes, all that kind of stuff. So so there's the video for people who need the visual. There's also the people who like to have a piece of paper in their hands. You can still print. We're still printable. Okay. All right.
That says I've been listening to you over the last 2 years, mostly from a professional standpoint, and I find great value in what you are teaching. I work in physical therapy, and I'm thinking of purchasing the program in order to help my patients.
Hey, you'd be amazed at how many people are practitioners, massage therapists, personal trainers, physical therapists, Pilates instructors, yoga instructors. Actually, if I'm talking to, that's probably my main audience, honestly, because they get...
That offer timed out, so I just popped it up again.
Oh, the offer timed out? Oh, I'm sorry.
Someone asked, how do we sign up? I just popped it back up there again.
Okay, so the offer is back up again, all right? And I keep looking for my glasses. I have set them somewhere. And, on the ground. That's a good place for a pair of glasses, isn't it? Okay, let me just kind of check in. You guys can keep asking. I'll hang on here with you as long as you want, and we will keep the conversation alive. As long as you're here, I can hang with you. Okay. All right. So let's welcome some people here. Gina, welcome. Gina is in the house. Can't wait to talk to you. Leanne, thank you, Leanne. Welcome. She came in. So we have Wendy. Welcome, Wendy. You're number 3. Looks like Pamela is number 4, and you'll get an email. And looks like Elizabeth is number 5. Thank you. Oh, and I forgot to, Elizabeth took advantage of the installment option. I didn't even talk about the installment option. The installment option is you're paying $82, and basically I'm breaking $247 down into 3 payments. So it's $82.33. The $197 saves you $50, but if it works better for you to do the installment plan with the $82.33, that's 3 monthly installments. And another thing, boys, this is Steve the doctor, not Steve the marketer. Steve the marketer is supposed to say, you also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. That means there's no risk, guys. I meant to say that earlier. There's never been a risk. I do stick to the 30 days. I told you to that, okay? But if you let me know, if you can tell me within 30 days that all of this content is hogwash and it has nothing to do with you, I don't want your money. I only want people to make the investment in themselves that are interested in transitioning and changing into something different. If that doesn't feel like it's right for you, and you get in there and you're just like, what is this quack job talking about? Let me know, and I'll give you your money back within 30 days. I've had people, at day 31 or 32 where I've had to say, man, I wish you would have talked to me 2 days ago, because we have to stay in integrity. Okay, if we're going to do the risk-free stuff, we have to stay in integrity. So be mindful of that.
Is it practical for elderly ones with joint replacements, folks who appear to be past the point of reversing anything?
Right. That's a great question.
Then followed up with Frank, who said osteoarthritis and snapping hip syndrome of the left hip.
Right. Okay. So if you think you're too far gone, will it help? That's basically the question. Okay, I'm going to answer that. I was in the middle of finishing these last. Christine, welcome. Awesome. So glad to have you. And we have Dory. Welcome, Dory. And I think that's it for now. So are you too far gone for this? Okay, this is always my answer to that. Okay, there's going to be anatomical limitations. For instance, if you've had compression fractures, maybe a compression fracture in your back, okay? And you clumped like this. Are you going to be able to perfectly have that perfect alignment if you're missing some bricks in the building? No. But here's the thing. I am not looking for perfect alignment, okay? As close to ideal as possible. But my point is, by going through the exercises, going through the mindset shifting, going through nutritional rehab as well. We look at all three pillars: mindset, movement, and nutrition. But even if you just focused on the physical piece and learn how to activate and use your muscles to get them closer to centered, you're going to become more functional. And that's the whole idea. The whole name of this game is not to have, look, even as I'm talking, I fall into, look at me, I'm falling into this as I'm talking to you. Okay? So the goal is not to always be in this perfect zone here, but it's to be as close to that as possible and know how to get as close to that as possible so you don't keep going this way. When you become more functional and you start moving with centration, the joints, the muscles relax. You have better coordination to your brain. You start enjoying peace physiology. So my answer is yes, it's for everyone. There'll be some things that'll be difficult for people to do. That's why I'm offering the 3 months of, hey, when I try this, it really ain't happening. You know what I mean? Just leave a comment. And I can say, well, let's peel back and try this instead. Okay? So, and what have you got to lose? Like I said, you have 30 days to get in there and see if it is right for you. Ask me some questions, get some help. And if you don't feel like it's right for you, ask for your money back within 30 days. No problem. No problem. So I hope that helps. We're not about getting perfect. Perfect is a terrible word to use, right? Ideal is closer. Functional is better. We want you to be functionally moving with as close to ideal posture as possible. And remember, soft tissue is plastic. It can change over time. But you have to keep giving the same message to the tissue over and over and over. You change the program, you change the software, and the hardware eventually responds. Hardware takes longer to respond. Tissue remodeling can take up to a year or more. But if you keep the intention and you have a movement practice, you do a mini circuit, even if it's every other day, after you go through this for, 6 or 8 weeks and you've done the Do This First program and you understand movement, then you can go back and do, and Module 6 is a flow series. It's just something that's a 39-minute thing you can go through. Rebecca kind of slowly talks you through a series of exercises. You can start doing that 3 times a week just to keep you on track. But you have to have some kind of practice that keeps your nervous system aware of the system. Because otherwise, stress, the world's going to try to get you and drag you down. Don't let it bring you down. Don't let it bring you down. Okay. Just check in here one more time.
I have a question here, or not a question, but just a quick comment from Rachel.
Okay, quick comment from Rachel.
Do you see it? Or you want me to read it?
Hold on just a second. I have one more person to welcome here. Haro. Welcome, Haro or Haro. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Thank you so much for joining. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Okay, question, Rebecca?
Rachel just said, thank you for the webinar. Great to see and hear you live. Ground, grow, and gratitude. Could you put a light mini version together for those shorter on time? Or could you run a live class once a week that we can attend and pay for?
The light mini version.
It's just the live part that people like.
Let's just like the live part. Yeah. Well, I'll do more of these, right? I'll do more of these. I'm not sure, how often that I'll go live, but I will be doing more of this. That way, it'll always be available free for a couple of days. but I don't know. It's always a possibility that I'll consider something different with the offer. But right now, today, it's an all access pass, lifetime access to everything, plus 3 months to ask me anything you need to get the help you need through the comments in the course.
Pam says, how long is each session? I want to be able to do some of this, but I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. So
right. Yeah. These webinars, obviously, we talk and I answer questions until the questions are done. But as you notice, the sessions, okay, when I say the sessions, like one module, each module, of course, you're going to have to learn the movements first, right? You're going to have to learn the movements first. And it's going to, maybe to learn all the movements in the first module, it may take you an hour or two to go through all of them and kind of understand, feel what's going on. But then you just do the mini circuit. The mini circuits are, the teaching is heavy up front, and then you use the mini circuits, which are between 15 and 25 minutes. I think that's about right. And that's when you don't go back and keep doing all of the detailed lessons of what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. After you get it, you just start doing the mini circuits. That's where the magic is. That's where you get into the flow a lot better. Okay, so
you consume it at your own rate.
Yeah, you consume. Some people take a month to learn the first module. Some people zip through and they've gone through everything and they've gone through the whole course in a month. Everybody's at their own stage and at their own pace, right? And that's what's cool, about not feeling the pressure of having to get your homework done every week because next time he's moving on to the next lesson or the next module. So, my short answer to that is get to the mini circuits as quick. The mini circuits are really where the gold is, and all of the coaching stuff you can take. It'll take a long time to digest all of that. So what I recommend is people just get it. If you can get in and even just be spent 10 minutes a day, just get in there, do something. You have to just break the ice of going in there. And what you'll find is once you go in there, you'll end up spending a little more time in there. Okay, and that's better time doing that than whatever you're binging Netflix or whatever, right? Something that serves you versus just pacifying and entertaining you. So maybe look at that hour you spent on that Netflix or that watching YouTube or whatever randomly and say, okay, I'm going in. I'm going to dedicate just 10 minutes today. And guess what? 10 minutes is great. Maybe the next day you end up spending 20 minutes, right? You spend an hour a day, would that be so bad? Right? So just go through at your own pace. But the key is develop the habit of going in there.
So if you sign up, how do you get access to everything?
So when you sign up, you'll immediately get access. So thank you. Here's the process. You click the link. It takes you. So once you pay, right, and you go, you'll be redirected to a page that allows you to create a username and a password for the site. And once you do that, you'll be redirected right into the course with access. You'll be in there. You'll have your username and password, and all the course is all housed at corewellnessinstitute.com. And that gives you lifetime access. You can always change that password. Your username is forever, but you can wait. The username and password, your password can be changed at any time. But that's it. You basically purchase, you set up a username and password, then you're redirected to the site. Now, I will say I'm going to be doing a new welcome message, and I'll be doing a new course tour. Right now, the course tour that's there is from previous, whenever I still had all of the coaching. So a few things are different, and I'll be doing that within the next couple of days, the course tour. But as soon as you get in there, you just start on the reverse CPS Now program, and it drops down tab by tab, introduction, core concepts, module 1, module 2, module 5, module 6 flow series. So you just start at the top and just slowly work your way through, right? And another good point is that you don't have to master everything in the first month. If there's one exercise that kind of gave you trouble and you weren't really good at it, and it's been like a week and a half and you're still like struggling with it, move on. Just move on. Make a note, leave me a comment about what you're struggling with. Maybe I can help you, and then move on. Go to the next module. They don't necessarily build on each other. They're grouped in groupings that make sense with each other. Okay? Good. Another question, Elizabeth?
After inhaling into your stone, how do we transition into a push away or motion? I tend to somehow either deflate or suddenly lose all that air if I start to exhale, or else I erroneously hold my breath to avoid losing the stone tension needed to keep the canister activated. I ask this because I'm pretty sure most of my pain fatigue is due to imbalance with each breath and movement all day long. Relief is short-lived, and each breath takes another reset and always seems confused and not coordinated.
Okay, so this is the same question that I answered just about 10 minutes ago, right? And that is, whenever you inhale, you can feel the pressure, but when you exhale, you lose the pressure. That's essentially what she's saying, right?
Yeah.
So again, the pressure is on immediately when you have the intention of pushing away from support. It's created a little bit. The brace is automatically created through pushing away. The breathing puts more pressure into the system, but the pressure should always be there. A little bit. It's always there. And my only answer to that, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
My only answer to that, Elizabeth, is the pressure comes from intention. So it's really more about, if you have the intention, you find support, you ground, you grow, you can't do that unless tension is created in your intra-abdominal container. So even though you don't think you're doing it, you're doing it. The breath just kind of gives you a little more, right? It gives you a little more, but the tension is kept by intention. The tension, let's call it fluid tension. I don't want to, tension sounds like a bad word. The pressure, the positive pressure is created through intention. And I don't think I can make it any, that's the simplest way, the easiest way to think about it. Is the tension, the pressure is created by the intention. So that's it.
I like that concept of percentage of intention.
Yes. Pressure and tension is a continuum. There's no magic number there. Again, if I'm picking up an 80-pound weight off the floor, you better believe my tension and my pressure is close to 100%. That's a big stone I've got to pull. That's a big push. That's a big pull. But if I'm just getting up off the floor, I'm going to push away, spiral away from my feet. Yep, that's going to create some tension through the intention of pushing away. So, don't overcomplicate it. Remember, like Yerji said, your stability is weak in the mind. It's the thought that creates the intention. So more than often, it's the thoughts that monkey mind starts rolling, and then you lose it. So it's the whole idea of life, isn't it? To try to maintain just growth and renewal and love and and play. We're not here to struggle through it, man.
I will say I have, I think, just one final question.
One final question? Let me see if there's anybody else in here.
Continuing education credits for buying the course, ?
Continuing education credits for buying the course.
Beth again.
Not currently. There probably is some, there would have to be some kind of a test that you would have to take. I've thought about that. So I'll think more about that, but right now the answer is no. But I'm sure there's, personal training, continuing ed for what? What is she?
She's a physical therapist.
A physical therapist? Yeah.
She asked the question earlier.
I'm sure there's some physical, this would apply, but that would take some different software and different, I'll have to consider that. But thank you for asking. Okay. Again, the URL one more time, gettoyourcore.com, gettoyourcore.com/bundle. And again, that gives you lifetime access to everything on the site. The whole Reverse CPS Now program, which is normally $297. You have access to the Coaching Vault, which I very conservatively valued at $300. That's really 10 years worth of answering people's questions in depth. And you'll find your questions in there too, I'll guarantee it. Along with that, there's also bonus trainings, topic-specific trainings on sciatica, knee pain, back pain. There's a forward bends in yoga. There's a I can't think of it all off the top of my head. I know if I try to go to the course in here, my screen's going to get jacked up because something I don't. This is new software for me, so I'm working on that. Okay, so that gets to be about it. Let me see one more time if there's anything else with this slide that I wanted to show you. The course testimonials and the course tour. Oh, who should not enroll? If you're not willing to give up your label, your diagnosis, and shift your focus to addressing dysfunction and imbalances, then don't come in thinking nobody's going to get rid of my lumbalgia that I have. If you're attached to your label, you're never going to get better. You have to focus on the dysfunction, not the condition. Okay? If you're closed-minded and have dogmatic views about exercise and nutrition, then why even start? This is for open-minded people, right? Open-minded people who want different. They want something different. They want change. If you're not open to the power of the mind-body connection, we talk about this a lot in the course, guys. A lot, I didn't talk much about all of the 10 core secrets to healthy aging. I got my whole first section is about thoughts and the power of the mind. It's a big piece of it. If you don't change your mind, if you don't change your beliefs on some certain levels, you're going to be stuck. That's the bottom line. And again, you decide the pace. How much time will it take? Everything is downloadable, makes it portable. You can download all of the audios onto your computer and then put them onto your iTunes or any device, whatever you've got. Everything is downloadable. Technically challenged, like I said, if you can watch YouTube, you can do this. And also, like I said, all of the audio programs that are in here, turn your vehicle into a rolling university. Don't waste time in the car, right? Listen to this stuff while you're rolling down the road. What else you got to do? Your vehicle is rolling university. And yes, I do have a ton of information online for free. Why should you pay, right? You can organize, you can figure out, you can kind of piece all that stuff together. It takes a lot of time, and plus all my YouTube blog content, they're kind of random thoughts that happen to be on my mind at the time. This is structured and proven program based on the latest breakthroughs in movement therapy, nutrition, and brain training. So the biggest thing is the organization of it all, right? Certainly you can go to my YouTube channel and comb through 350 videos. That's fine. You're going to get a lot of benefit there, but why not have it all together in one place? The other thing is everything's deeper and more in depth. When you go through this program, you'll know more about to heal your body than most conventional doctors. I kid you not. It's because this teaches you how to use your body. Like one recent enrollee just told me, it's like getting a PhD in how to move your body. It's crazy. Deeper, more in-depth training. And plus, you know what? The transformation is in the transaction. If you don't have any skin in the game, you're not going to do anything. If all you did was watch this seminar for free, maybe you might do something, but are you more likely to do something when you pay for it? Absolutely. We all know this. When you invest in yourself, you care about yourself. It's an action motivator. You're just more likely to succeed. That's basically the bottom line. The transformation is in the transaction, and I firmly believe that. And guess what? Return on investment. What if you avoided the cost and the emotional toll of any eventual surgeries? What's that worth? Health problems are the number one reason for bankruptcy. Number one reason. Get healthy. Build your buffer now against major problems. Build your buffer against catastrophe. Right? This is real. Bankruptcy is real for medical issues. What if you just kept yourself from slipping and falling by developing a better core? Save money on chiropractic. You know, like, who was it? Heather from Canada. She was $200 a week on chiropractic. And, you know, she bought the course back then. It was, I think, $300 or something, 400, I can't remember. And she, you know, she got rid of all of her problems. The course is worth hundreds, if not thousands. What's mental, emotional suffering cost, right? What's the medication cost you? What if you got off a pain medication? What if you got off the anti-inflammatory medication that's eating away your gut? You know, what's the cost of being disabled and being a burden to your family? All kinds of stuff. Return on investment, ROI. Again, 30-day unconditional. You're not happy, either I didn't do my job or it's not the right fit for you. No risk, money back guarantee. All you gotta do is just contact us through support or just send me an email directly at drsteve@gettoyourcore.com, drsteve@gettoyourcore.com. Money back, no problem, no hard feelings, okay? So the question is, why are you here? What is it that you want? What is it that you want to change? What's the transition that you need to make? You need to be able to travel better, and you need to be able to keep up with your grandkids. You want to watch your grandkids graduate from college, be able to walk your granddaughter down the aisle, or what is it? What do you want to be able to do? What is it? Why are you here? I love this. A healthy person has many wishes, but the sick person has only one. Indian proverb. What do they want? All they want is their health. All they want is their health. Give me my health back. That's what we're doing here today. Again, I've already talked about the cost. One payment of $297, but this is what it normally is. The value is $197 today, plus all of the bonuses. We talked about that. Fix your forward head, $97 value. Bonus 2, Core Wellness Coaching Vault, $300 value. Click now, and you get it all. Okay? Click now, and you get it all. Stop sharing. All right, guys, I am checking out. We will, hopefully the replay will be up and it will be available for a very short period, for a 2-day period after today. And after that, all of the special offer goes away. Okay, so I am going to check out. Make sure that anybody has one last thing. Good, so you should get an email about the replay. And I am out of here. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming.